I wanted to bring you back on because, I mean, aside from you being a really interesting person, and we'll get to that in a minute, because you've led quite the life, especially in these last few years.
Right.
But you're a really witty, funny person, and I don't want to put the pressure on you because obviously it kind of started as a comedy podcast, but we do try and keep a little bit of elements of humor about it. But you are very witty, and that's what I liked about you. And we've been trying to get you back on for a while now, and it's just for whatever other reason it hasn't happened. But now we've got you back on. I wanted to just talk to you one on one. We've got no one else on this time, so it's just the two of us. So it's
Yeah.
a chance for us to get to know Josh a little bit more.
Right
Um,
on.
so I want to start with what you've just been through, like today. So quickly, a little bit of backstory is you lost. I can't remember if it was your right or your left leg.
I left.
Your left leg
Mhm.
to Berger's disease. Is that right?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
It's called Burger's
And
disease.
I've talked about that before on the podcast, and you can go back and listen to it on. I'll figure out which episode it was, but it was one of the Halloween ones.
Hmm.
Um, and recently today I don't know. Recently you had an operation to have it. Will you explain it? What was the operation you went back in to have? What was that?
Okay. Well, we were having a excuse me. We were having a hell of a time trying to fit prosthetics, like prosthesis, to my stump that I had, my existing stump. So it was causing it to basically hang because I had like this weird end of my tibia sticking out right there.
Yeah, so
So
it wasn't smooth.
it wasn't smoothed over at all. It was, where it could just go down into the
Yeah.
socket and fit perfectly, and I could go on about my day pain free. It's like every single step hurt. And that's not even trying to sound dramatic or anything. That's like,
Yeah.
I mean, that's very true. Every single step was just kind of like, ah. But you start to get kind of used to it and go on about your day. That and the drive, of course, of wanting to feed your family and, and keep going as far as work goes. But I think I pushed it to the point to where that really wouldn't have been feasible anymore. And I was like damaging myself more and more as time went on.
Yeah.
So I think that kind of drove us to want to just go ahead and have this surgery. And what they did was smooth down the bone and pulled the muscle up underneath it to where it basically caps over top of it now. And my incision, rather than being like right across the front, is now on the top
Okay.
like that. It goes all the way across the top. So
So
yeah,
today you went back in to have the drain removed, was it?
yeah. They put a drain in there, and it helps speed up the process of healing and just getting any type of bacteria and infection build up anything on the
Yeah.
bottom, like on the bottom part of your leg.
And they left that in for 2 weeks, right?
It was what, roughly 2 weeks, about 2.5 weeks, something
Yeah,
like
because
that.
you went back in to have it taken out, and he said he wanted to leave it in a little bit longer, didn't he?
Yeah, since the third.
Right. Okay. So and today you went in and you had that taken out.
Right.
And how do you feel now? Now it's out.
It feels really, really good. I mean, it's really, really sore, like
Oh, I can only
super,
imagine.
super, super
It
sore.
looks it looks really sore just to look at it. I mean, it's very nice and clean and neat now. It does look so much better, but it does look
Yeah.
painful.
What what really sucks the most is the stitches that are in it right now, and the fact that it's swelling and it's still just kind of like pulling
Yeah.
at the stitches. So that's the kind of the part that you tend to, you just, I don't know if you can really ignore it so much, or you just kind of
Yeah.
get used to it, or just say, hey, this is temporary. I don't really know. But Tylenol and Advil have been key to this whole thing.
That's crazy. So why did they do it? Why didn't they do it that way the first time around? Why did they leave it so like misshapen originally? Why didn't they just smooth it off? Like,
Well, it was more of an effort to try and save my life, as far, and
okay.
without sounding dramatic or whatever.
No, no,
it
no.
would
That
have
makes
it
sense.
would have continued to spread up, like from the foot to the leg, and that would have had to have been removed eventually.
Yeah.
So typically, if say it was something that had to be planned out and could, I could wait for a little while, that kind of thing, it would be done by a plastic surgeon.
Right.
And mine was done by a cardiovascular surgeon. So they're not hip to a lot of the things that plastic surgeons know. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it does. Yeah, it does.
Okay. I was gonna say, man, I feel like I'm just rambling, but yeah,
I know.
they're not really hip to a lot of things that plastic surgeons know and know how to do, and the little tips and tricks and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So it's not gonna be as pretty as one that a plastic surgeon would do.
Yeah. Well, that does make sense.
Yeah.
So, like, what I really admire about you is your sense of humor toward the whole thing.
Yeah.
You're not like it's not a sensitive subject. I mean, it might be if somebody else was to say something like a joke about it of some kind, but you yourself have got a really good attitude about it. And one that comes to mind, and it really did make me laugh, was, I don't even know why, but this guy sent me a picture of his foot or something. I don't know why, but he sent me a picture of his foot. It was something to do with a tweet on Twitter. And even when I seen it, I was like, why is this guy showing me his foot? And you seen it. And then you tweeted a picture of yourself or something with your prosthetic on. And you said something to the guy like, oh, way to fucking rub it in. I can't remember exactly what it was you said, but it really tickled me because I thought that guy probably feels like a prick now and he didn't even mean to say anything bad.
Thanks a lot, asshole. Yeah, look what I got. Look what I can do.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, go fuck yourself. No, you were asking about movie quotes, like show me a picture and I'll guess the movie or something to that effect.
Yeah.
And Dave sent you a picture of his left foot, my left foot.
That's right. Yeah, that's what it was. My left foot. Yeah. Yeah.
I tried to
do rub it in, prick.
I try to do a lot of puns, like especially with the hats that I wear. Like, well, this one's not, it's just a Tool brand, but I like to have hats that a lot of people don't get unless you think about it. Like I like to have like baseball teams, football teams, that kind of thing. So I'll wear like Pirates socks, Red Sox. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The Raiders, that kind of shit.
Yeah.
So that it you get the joke, you get the pun, Pirates, one leg, blah 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 blah. Has everything to do with feet. Some people catch on, some people don't. They're like, hey, I get where you're going with that. That's pretty fucking funny.
Yeah. How is it in like with the public? Like, do you like, how do people approach you? Do you feel that like they're awkward around you at all? Do they ask silly questions about you not having the leg anymore? Or is everyone relatively, normal?
I get basically three types of people. People that will generally just kind of look at, like they'll be walking by and very obviously go, and then just keep walking.
So rude, isn't it? It's like they're just not aware of the surroundings.
Kind of rude, not really. Then you have your kind of like eye cutters that are doing this until they lock eyes with you, then they kind of look away. Yeah. We have those kind of people too. And then there's people that try to like identify with you, and they're like asking questions about your leg and that kind of thing. And they're like, oh, it's okay because, my dad was a double amputee, or he's this, he's that. And then you're kind of like stuck like, well, okay. I mean, that's cool, but still awkward that I'm sitting here just like rambling off about my leg to you. And I don't know. I don't even know you. I just met you in the grocery line, that kind of shit. So that's always been kind of an awkward one, really, I guess.
And what about like kids? Because I know my kids, if they see something different, because they're kids, it's what kids do. They'll stare. I have to say, like, don't stare at people.
Yeah, I don't care. They can ask all they want.
Well, that's the thing. It's just kids. It's like, I think if it was me, I'd probably come up with some cool story, like a bear attacked me or something.
Oh yeah, I didn't eat my vegetables.
That's a brilliant one.
A shark, I had to buy a new car and it cost an arm and a leg, but I got a really good deal on it. So I got to keep my arm. You know, there's quite a few that I'll throw out to kids. You know, it's just because you really don't want to break it down, the harsh truth of what actually happened, you know.
So
and then
okay, so now that